Hello guys, welcome to Sky Recap. Today's movie is a 2019 military action movie titled Triple Frontier. Kindly stay tuned. The movie begins with a whirring sound of a police helicopter emerging through the rural part of South America. Santiago, a cunning sharpshooter policeman, has a mission to comply with, to track down and hunt some of the drug lord squad hiding in a break apartment, also to get some information about Gabriel Martin Loria, their wealthy leader. Santiago and his armed police officers caught some of Laurier's people. The police intimidates and threatens them to squeeze out the information about Laurier's whereabouts. A woman breaks loose from her chain and escapes from the hands of the police. Santiago and his team run as fast as they can to catch the woman, but she's too fast. The woman who escaped is actually Santiago's informant. They have a deal wherein he is to free the informant's brother in prison in exchange for spilling Laurier's location. After knowing this, he devises a plan to create a trusted team for the heist and make Lauria pay. He meets with retired Captain William Miller and tracks down his old pal Redfly, a former armed officer, but now a realtor with a complicated family relationship and financial issues. Redfly is unsure whether to join them due to its risks. Santiago offers Benny and Catfish to join the mission. Redfly finally decides to join after hearing the plan. When they got to South America, the team drove to Lauria's mansion in the jungle to inspect the surroundings. They hid in the bush and analyzed their possibilities of entering. They discovered that Lauria's family goes to church every Sunday and sends 3 guards to the 6 a.m. service when they get back. He then sends the rest of his team along with his family to get into the town for church service, which only leaves him and 3 guards in the entire mansion. Later on, Santiago and Juventud the informant had a clandestine meeting. He requests one last thing from Ivana, and that is to get him an extra van into the compound. He promised to pay Ivana $2 million as an incentive to free her brother. The gang arrives on a rainy Sunday morning. They hid in the bush patently waiting for Ivana, who successfully enters the mansion with the extra van he requested. The gang goes inside the mansion and kills all Lauria's armed guards, but Lauria was nowhere to be found. Santiago breaks the paper-like wall in the mansion to their surprise behind it as Lauria's millions of money. They take their bag, seize all money they can get, and quickly load it in their van. Time begins to run out, and they must pack their things before Lauria's family and guards come home. While they were roaming and spreading gasoline to burn down the house, a secret cabinet slowly creaked open to yet another surprise. Lauria is hiding there with his gun. He tries to aim his position and shower bullets in the room, but the gang is solid and alert. One of them quickly shoots Lauria and kills him. Though William aka Ironhead was hit, they load up and set the house ablaze. They quickly drove and headed to the compound where a tumultuous helicopter approaches, and they have to store the £6,000 money they've stolen for a total of $250 million in cash, but the helicopter can only carry fewer pounds. So the weight issue is a problem. They took Havana and her brother over to Peru. Santiago gives them their passport to fly to Sydney, Australia, and $3 million to start a new life. He advises them to stay safe and away from South America because they might kill her. As they proceed with the mission, the helicopter engine suddenly sputters, leaving them no choice but to unload some of their cash bags or else they will die. Ben tries to pull the lever, but it doesn't work. Benny then goes down to poke the sack net of cashbacks, which surprisingly works, but it pays in danger. The helicopter then stirs and crashes with the rest of them. They land somewhere on an agricultural farm with their money bags landing in the middle of it. Another problem arises with people residing on the farm, claiming that they now own the money since it crashed on their land. The gang persuades them, but Redfly has no chill. He is in a rage and showers bullets that kill the farmers and residents who came near the money. Santiago goes to meet their community chief to plead for forgiveness. He gives him some money, telling him to send some cash to the grieving families. While walking with the mules they bought from the chief, they see a young boy looking at them with a face full of vengeance. The father of that young boy had been shot in Redfly's bullet shower. The gang continues to escape and happens to pass by a forest and sleeps for just a night. At dawn they are bound to a rocky mountain. One of their mules falls with their cash back due to the steep rocky mountain. At night, due to cold, they burn some of their money to make a fire. The next day the gang wakes to gunshots from an unknown angle. The bullets ricochet through the rocks with no targets and showed to be a sign of threat to the gang. They quickly spread out to catch the hiding shooters and find out that one of them is a teenage boy holding and cocking his gun. Redfly unleashes one shot on a kid. It happens smoothly and feels like a victorious shot, ceasing the possible dangers. But then as he looks back, he sees the angry kid from the village locking his aim on Redfly. Young boy aims his gun and shoots straight at the target, but the boy is also shot down, resulting in a loud bang from Santiago's gun. Seeing that Redfly has been killed, his friends mourn and cry for him. Santiago, the gang leader, encourages them to continue with their plan because Redfly and his family deserves the money. They bring Redfly's dead body and their cash back as they walk to a snowy mountain. They fortunately have a backup boat, but they are 5 days late, wondering if the boat is still waiting for them. Benny leaves them for a while and takes the risk to go to the boat and inspect it. He returned to his friends and gives information, telling them that the boat still waits for them. Benny didn't go to the town because there were a bunch of armed kindergartens, and one of their enemies exploited 20 heavily armed kids waiting to kill Santiago. They decided to let the money go because they can't leave Redfly's dead body in the middle of nowhere. They bring their money bags and throw the rest of them into the cliff as they approach a town with heavily armed teenagers. Benny looks for their boat with the rest secretly passing by the town. The gang stumbles on a heavily armed teenage boy and captures him, but they don't have the intention of killing him. Santiago and his friends steal the kid's car and use it to easily go to the beach where Benny drives the boat, but as soon as they leave the kid, a group of armed teenagers riding in cars interferes. The gang is left with no choice but to shoot and drive furiously. The gang outruns them and finally hit. Santiago and his friends successfully go to the beach and find Benny as they exhaustingly sail away. They prepare themselves to start a new life and live with the consequences of the choices they've made. They may have left a lot of money in the mountains, but they brought $5,334,210. The money was divided into 5 equal shares of $1,066,824 each. The whole gang willingly donates their shares to Redfly's family. The movie ends with a lawyer needing their signatures on a deal-deposited contract for Redfly's family.